Alan hops on the bus. He's got Fiona with him, who's just turned 1. For a moment he thought about driving, but it's a nice day and he enjoys the walk to the bus stop, especially now it's got a farmer's shop with a small cafe, as well as a library. It's great that things are so close, thanks to the 20-minute communities concept that the village has been designed around. So bus it is. He takes a seat next to Fiona's stroller and can't help but overhear 2 teenagers all packed up like they're coming back from camping. Oh yeah, Mum was telling me that back in her day, gap years used to mean doing some work or volunteering abroad. But I guess that's kind of silly. Why fly out when there's so much to do on your doorstep? Yeah, I wasn't that keen on this Restore Nature summer camp at the beginning, but I have to say it's been pretty fun meeting new people, doing something good and getting credits for my apprenticeship. It sounds weird, but I can see why so many people now volunteer to plant trees. Alan smiles. Teenagers these days, he thinks, and wonders what his Fiona might get up to when she's their age. He's on his way to see Miss Aidan, a potential client for his retrofitting business, to talk through some options. He left his old construction job and set up the business to make the most of the new Enerfit Homes grant for retrofitting homes. He's glad he finally took the plunge to set up his own business, although he doesn't actually own it himself. The government gives tax support and advice to people looking to establish cooperatives, so his colleagues own the business with him. They vote on everything from strategy to working hours and salaries. Meanwhile, the UBI, the Universal Basic Income pilot, has provided the support they needed to reduce hours and bring in more members. It's had some interesting effects as businesses as well as community initiatives have mushroomed. Some were worried that the UBI pilot would mean that people lost motivation, but on the contrary, it opened up opportunities. It's allowed us the financial headspace to find the time for things we love doing and gives us purpose, whether that's a new job or simply more time to spend with each other. Alan's now trying to get his older sister, Rona, to see this potential too. He looks down at his phone and starts scrolling job adverts to see if there's anything that would suit. Okay, so what are the jobs like these days, he asks himself. If someone had told him about these jobs when leaving school, he just wouldn't have believed them. Repair centre designers, co-working consultants and hydrogen lorry engineers. The co-working consultants would suit his sister's experience. There are a lot of transferable skills from her old position as team coordinator in the oil and gas industry. It looks like an old IT, HR and maintenance department rolled into one new service, enabling customers to settle into regional co-working hubs. All the tech and equipment is provided on loan, so there's no need to worry about buying expensive new stuff every time it breaks or you relocate. Could be an option. This could be interesting. The West Lothian Repair Centre is looking for 2 designers to join our fashion and kitchenware departments. The repair network was established 5 years ago following the Climate Assembly's recommendation to ensure people reuse, repair and recycle more, and the introduction of the Right to Repair Act. We provide a one-stop repair centre for all personal and household goods. That's more like it. This is the kind of creativity Alan's sister needs in her job. Something involving both technical skill and creative problem solving. Everything we buy now is designed for demountability and disassembly. The challenge and opportunity is knowing how to recombine them in creative ways with bespoke 3D printed parts. This could be perfect for her. The tannoy announces his stop. He taps out the Scots Integrated Transport app, which flashes the CO2 emissions for his journey so far. With the same app, he checks out an electric cargo bike from the dock and straps Fiona in. Being on a bike makes her smile. She must like the wind and the movement. He makes a 3-mile trip to Miss Aidan and they go over the brief. An energy efficiency assessment followed by bespoke retrofit recommendations, or, in Miss Aidan's words, figure it all out so it's not freezing and the bills stop going through the roof. On the way back home, Alan checks what's in season at the farm shop. Now a much more common sight instead of large supermarket chains, thanks to carbon taxes on packaging and transport food miles, which made shopping from local farmers, local businesses and resale markets much more attractive. There's already a shift away from large-scale meat production to regenerative agricultural practices. And in some areas, farmers are even incentivised to rewild what once were grazing fields. One last stop before getting home. Alan pops by the library. There's not just books in there, but there's a co-working space with ultra-fast broadband connection, tool lending and clothes swapping. But he stops to meet his partner, who works at the library for her lunch break. He gets back home, puts Fiona down for her afternoon nap and makes a cuppa as he starts packing for their weekend trip to Paris. The 4-day weekend means they'll have time to take the sleeper train. In a few years' time, when the high-speed rail network's up and running, it'll be possible to do weekend trips even further to southern Europe. It's just as well because flights are now expensive and they've already used up their untaxed flight credit visiting the partner's family in South Africa. It's tough for her, being so far away and not being able to visit in person. But at least the superfast broadband allows them to visit virtually. The technology's improved so much that they often read a bedtime story to their niece in South Africa. The tea's brewed and for a moment his thoughts wander back to how all of these changes came about. Life feels different, a bit slower and gentler, with more time to spend on the things that really matter. You know, those you love, learning, nurturing, creating, and the natural world. There's still so much to do, but for once, it feels like we're heading in the right direction. None of this would have happened without the pandemic forcing people to rethink priorities and demand real change, without the bold voice of the Climate Assembly, or without the government's appetite to lead by example when hosting COP26 in Glasgow. Scotland's now pretty much on track to get its emissions down to zero. 2021, what a year that was. We used to think GDP growth was the key indicator of our nation's success, regardless of how we achieved it. But the Climate Assembly made it clear, our goal is to enable our communities to thrive in balance with their surroundings. How we get there matters as much as the goal itself.